Yo, what's going on, guys? We're back with another video today. Yeah, I'm excited. We're gonna talk about Rick and Morty season 9. We're gonna talk about this is kind of a part 2 of the other Rick and Morty video I made. Hopefully this one isn't 40 minutes long because that was really long. I'm gonna try to cut it down this time. As you can see, we're back with the BTD6 gameplay. We're doing another part where I absolutely get cooked because I throw the game, but we're not gonna ignore that. All right. Um, but anyway, let's get into it. So we're gonna start with just talking about the last couple episodes, except for the finale, of course, and then after that, we're gonna go just talk about what the finale could be, or what could it be, like theories about season 9 and whatnot. So I'm excited. Let's get straight into season 9, episode 7. Mort, Mort Gully, the last Rick Forest. Okay. I know I've been glazing season 9, okay? I know I've been glazing season 9, and I don't want to spend too long on these, because I don't want this to be super long. But this is such a good episode. Like, I cannot believe how good it is. So the whole premise is they go, Rick and Morty go to this, like, separate planet to get some, like, tree wax, I think it was, or tree sap, sorry, tree sap. And then this tree, like, takes their, like, souls and puts them into, like, this, like, respawning like prison, right? And okay, prison, but it's like a whole like nature thing where they just literally like they cannot die. Every single time they die, they just respawn as like literally like cells, right? And then they have to evolve all their way through, and then like there's obviously other characters and stuff. But this episode is so good. Oh my gosh, literally like well, the whole thing is they keep evolving, and then like good. I want to say it's around halfway, maybe a little bit before halfway. Rick and Morty they split off, right? They evolve to monkeys, and then they start fighting these apes, and then that's Morty dies, and then Rick ends up killing them and then taking them, whatever. And he just tries everything to climb the tree. Nothing works, right? Well, Morty goes with this group of guys, or yeah, group of guys. I guess they could be girls too, but group of like aliens, and they just go through a bunch of different life cycles, doing different animals and stuff, right? And then eventually, um, Morty like kind of steps back and he's like, I want to be a tree or I want to be a plant, right? Because he's like, whatever. He just like he's realizing it's all just a cycle, whatever. So he becomes he becomes like a tree, or I guess a plant. No, it's moss. He starts as moss and then becomes like trees, and but the whole idea is what? Sorry, I'm gonna cut that part out. But my dad just came into my room. It's fine. Love you, Dad. Anyway, so so and eventually he just keeps evolving. Like it's like the cycle, but he keeps growing. Like his whole like tree like ecosystem keeps growing. Eventually, you know, in the background, Rick is just going through deaths, trying to figure out how to get up the tree. And eventually, Morty grows all the way up the tree, right? And then he pops out on the surface next to the big tree that like trapped them down there. And oh, it's just so. Then he kills him, so he restarts it. But then he's like, Rick saws that, kills himself, and then they get the whole ecosystem because they realize like we just gotta starve this guy to kill him, right? Like the tree, so they can all escape. So they do that, and it's such a good episode. Just watch it. I recommend watching it. Season 9 so far hasn't had a miss. Right? Is the finale gonna miss? Hopefully not. The finales are usually good, but we're not gonna talk about that for now. We're gonna and the reason I think this episode is so good, right? The reason I think this episode is so good, right, is it's kind of shows that Morty he kind of solved the whole thing, right? He kind of solved like the whole thing with him splitting off of Rick, and instead of doing what they would usually do or what Rick would do, he did his own thing, with the respawning and stuff, and it worked out completely fine, like perfect, right? And that's what I really like about this because it's Morty solving an adventure. You know what I mean? We don't see that very often. It's usually like where they both do it, whatever. But anyway, it was such a good episode. Like, oh my, just peak. Wait, hang on, Paul. I'm gonna. All right. I didn't think about this until I started recording. I should probably rank these and where I put them. I'm gonna put this episode, and I'll put a ranking. each time. I'm gonna put this episode in the third spot for the season, behind Rick Day 7 Nights and above Rick Fu Hustle with a 9.5 out of 10. And then also, there's something about Morty's gonna go to a 9.7 out of 10, being first place. Otherwise, I'm not going to change these until the finale, but I just thought about that. But yeah. All right. Next episode, we're cruising through this. I think compared to the last episode or the last video I did. Um, I'm not gonna try to pronounce this. Season 9, episode 8. Rick, you and Morta Dream. This episode was also so good. I cannot believe that like this second half of the season is like almost as good as actually I'd say it's better than the first half of the season. Okay, the first two episodes of season 9 were really good. Okay, you know, maybe not better, but they're really good. Okay, that's all I have to say. But season 9 episode 8, the whole premise is oh, hang on. The whole premise is episode starts, Rick is like just brewing like alcohol or whatever, right? And then Morty comes in, destroys the whole thing, and he just wants Pokemon cards. But then Rick, you know, whatever, they beef a little bit. Rick feels bad. Rick's like, whenever you're here, I'm never happy, right? So, but the whole thing is then Rick has this like bug that like makes it so like you just sympathize or emphasize. Okay, holy with anything, right? Which he uses that so him and Morty can win some seed back for his distillery, right? And right after that, yeah, right after that, he takes it out, right? And there's like it's like withdrawals, not withdrawals, like a kind of like a hangover where he's just like his head hurts and whatever, and you know he's not very empathetic or whatever. But then Morty does it, and then so the like a bunch of the episode is literally Morty just being empathetic with everybody, right? And then eventually he goes into Rick and he's like, "I'm sorry for what happened earlier. You know, let's go do something you like." So they go to like this like intergalactic mall, right? And oh my god, one of the best scenes in the show. I'm probably gonna show the clip here and actually show it this time on like if anybody made it to that part of the last video. Sorry, I didn't show the clip about the whatever, but the clip where he grabs the thermometer and he's you know the little explosion thing comes up and he's like, haha, very funny, and then Rick's like, your arm, Morty, and he's like, what? And then oh my god, it's because he sympathized with the explosion, right? Because he still has like the parasite in. So Rick takes the parasite. It's huge. There's a super cool like back and forth scene where like he's like fighting to get the parasite out of Morty, right? And it goes back and forth. But he sympathized with the explosion, so his arm is just off, right? And then his whole like empathetic thing, his whole empathetic part of his brain is like just completely gone, right? And you know, Morty just says out of pocket comments to Rick, you know, about his dead wife and shit, right? It's so good, right? And then it they're fighting it, and then it goes. Well, okay, hang on. He they fall down, and then the guy that was next to the thermometer, like that was like guarding it, I'd assume, right? Morty like hits like the evil Morty, oh shit, because he has no empathy or whatever. Just blast him twice, kills him, bang, gone. Literally like kills the guy, and he's in like the evil Morty pose. Oh my god, it's so good. I can't believe it. And then the parasite goes into Rick, and then they kind of like switch places. Like that's kind of like the bit they switch places where like Rick's trying to empathize with everything, and Morty's not. He's like Rick, right? Really good episode. And at the very end, the parasite Rick after they get back teleports with Pokemon cards into his thing, right? And then Rick pours acid into his ear, killing the parasite right out, and he's like, no hard feelings. It's such a good episode because it's just like it's such like I don't know. I knew like he had the bug in, right? And like I guess the twist was he still had the bug in all that time and it got gigantic, right? I just the episode's so good because not only do they switch spots and like at the end of it, right? And it's kind of like a play on that, but also just like how they animate it, how they go about it. And like there's also a part where Rick's like, "Well, I could have just talked to you, right?" Oh, it's so good. And then like kind of like the references to Evil Morty too, when when the when his like the sympathetic part of his brain is just like gone. Oh my god, it's so good. Where I'm gonna rank this. Ooh, I'm gonna have to rank it above Rick Fu Hustle and below the season 9 episode 7. I'm gonna rank it here. Um, at a 9 out of 10. 8.5 out of 10. 8.5 out of 10. Right? Super. No, let's go 9.1 out of 10. All right, super good. Oh my god, it's so good. And then the last one, in my opinion, this is one of the weakest episodes of the season. Not bad, one of the weakest episodes of the season. That's just my opinion, right? It's Salute Your Morts. So the penultimate episode of the season, season 9, episode 9. The whole premise is they go to a summer camp. Well, actually, it's a great episode, okay? I'm not, the more I think about it, the better it sounds in my head, right? It's a great episode. The whole premise is they're about to get expelled from school. Well, they actually do, but then Rick turns the guy into a carrot, right? And then Morty does like a ninjutsu thing or whatever. That's what I keep hearing, right? He like flicks off. He like subs himself with a log, and then Rick like holds his arm up in the sky like summoning Mjolnir, but it's like Morty. It's it's funny. It's a funny episode. I'll say that. But anyway, they get taken to a camp, right? Also, there's this really brutal part where Rick like kills them using like their tech in their bodies and their implants, right? Literally just like brutally kills them and like revives them. It's insane. So they fall down into the camp, and the camp counselors have been killed and whatnot, right? Um, it's fun. It's fun. There's funny parts. I can't lie. Um, what else? And then the B plot is Beth and Jerry take this like forever high thing, and it is kind of funny because they started doing it and they're like, whatever. And they were gonna go drinking with Rick. That's what's implied, in the very right when they first get high, but they don't. Whatever. Um, they take this like interplanetary like taxi thing, and then they kind of like in the inside it transforms to like what your ideal like taxi would be in a sense, and it is them on prom night, right before the whole summer, you know, them banging, whatever. It plays off to that. I think that's actually a really good moment. You're right, actually a really good moment, and it's funny. The whole episode's funny, and then Rick eventually becomes high, so the kids eventually they portal travel to the kids because the kids call them and like, we need help. These guys are fucking crazy, right? Because they kill them and they're like, you have to party. If you don't party, we're gonna kill you too, right? And eventually they're like, holy moly. Um, yeah. So great, good episode. I nothing to complain about that. Really good episode. I love it. Right. And eventually it changes to, sorry. Holy moly. Eventually what happens is they get to the kids, but like Rick can't do anything, but his implants are still in there, whatever. When they send him out like as a decoy, right? Because they all get trapped and stuff in a ship container, like all the campers and Morty and Summer, they all get trapped in a shipping container. It's it's a funny bit, and they use this thing, and like obviously his implants doesn't matter if he's like super high, because Rick eventually gets high. I don't remember if I said that. He takes the same stuff as Beth, not yeah Beth and Beth and Jerry, so he gets super high out of that too. Super funny bit there. They're pretty much useless, right? And then they switch spots where Morty and Summer kind of save them. It's a great episode. I think it's a weaker episode, but that's not saying much. When I say weaker, it's not even the weakest. I'd also, I realize I've been saying the rankings wrong. It's fine though. I'll probably rank this like an 8.5 out of 10, maybe even like an 8.75 out of 10. I know, getting complicated. Um, and now the more I think about it, the more I'm like, this is better. I also watched it at like 12 o'clock, and then I watched it the next day as well. Like I've at least double watched every episode, but this one just came out like this week. Right. Okay, I'm saying that like it's like 2 days away from a new episode. But anyway, so that's all the episodes. That's all the episodes so far. I'm still rating this like a 9 out of 10, 9.2 out of 10 season. Um, the weaker episodes bring it down a bit, but the high episodes keep it really high because the good episodes are amazing, and the lower episodes are still really good. You know what I mean? So there's nothing to complain about that. But now I want to talk about the finale, right? And kind of what the title is going to is, do I think or can they stick the landing? Absolutely they can. Okay. Short answer, yes, they can. Now. What I want to talk about is, what will the finale entail? Alright. What will the finale entail? Like, what's my hopes for the finale, right? Because the episode title, actually the last like 4 episode titles have been leaked. I didn't realize this. I think this was leaked when I was making the last video. My apologies, I didn't realize this. And they always do like like a parody of like a show or a movie, right? Or whatever. This title is just Field of Dreams. So I think they're gonna cook up something crazy. I think the last episode, we could be seeing one of the best episodes of the show. Now, I need to knock on wood here. I hope you heard that. I knocked on wood, right? Because if I jinx it and it's not a really good episode, I'm gonna be sad. The last 2 season finales have been so good. Fear No More in season 7, and I think it's Hot Rick in season 8. Those are such good finales, and if you haven't seen them, just go watch them, right? They're such good episodes, right? Fear No More had really good Morty development and whatever, but this is Field of Dreams. I think I keep seeing, I want to say it's leaks of like clips from the new episode. Maybe it's just episodes I don't remember. I'm hoping it's about this chili. I hope that's not the new episode, just because that kind of worries me a little bit. That they might go on some shenanigans, especially since they usually cook with finales. Not that the Fear whole episode didn't have shenanigans, but I'm just a little worried. I'm a little worried because this whole season's been really good, and they might think they have come up with such a great idea for the finale, and then they just flop with it. That's what I'm worried about, because I don't know, I love this show, and I don't want it to. I don't want it to have a bad finale, right? Especially since we're literally the strongest season yet. But another thing I wanted to talk about, right? And I think, okay, to wrap that thought up, I think this will be a great finale. Field of Dreams, I think, believe it or not, I think it's gonna have to do something with dreams, maybe like a dreamscape or something. I don't know. Right, the Fear No More, I wouldn't be able to guess. Hot Rick, I couldn't have guessed that was gonna happen in the finale. It was crazy. I really hope it's gonna be good, and I think it will be. So I want to upload a video like Monday day, right? I do on it and reviewing it, and actually kind of going over the whole season as well, just reviewing it one last time. Well, for now, right? But I think it's gonna be really good, so I'm excited for that. Now, there's some theories I've been seeing going around, right? Because obviously I follow Rick and Morty on social media, whether it be TikTok, Instagram, Reddit, whatnot. Okay. So there's a few theories that are going on, and like I feel like the finale will kind of bring this in if it is true. Is I think the biggest theory, and apparently I haven't been in the Rick and Morty fandom for like super long, but apparently this is a thing that people have been saying for a while, and I don't know how true that is. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is they think our Morty is gonna turn into evil Morty. There's been tons of references to this season. I don't recall it being like a big thing in other seasons. Obviously, there's times where like you could say, well, maybe here, but this season there's been like the parasite episode, right? The parasite episode or the robot episode, like the what's his name? Like the camper, that guy, right? That episode, or even with it being like the evolution episode, right? That one where Morty kind of figures out the whole thing by himself. That could be hinting at like maybe he, whatever. Now, do I think this is likely? I think, you know what? He's not gonna like become evil Morty, obviously. Now, could he become like something like that? I don't. I think it's definitely possible they could do it. Do I think it's likely? I don't think so. I think that kind of ruins the point. That'll make him too much like evil Morty. And also, evil Morty's like, if you think he's gone, I think you're stupid. Okay, he's not gone, and that'd be like kind of like why have evil Morty then, right? Unless he is gone, unless that's the way the routers choose to go, which if they do that, fine, right? But I don't think he's gonna become evil Morty, right? Now another thing, right? I think that's to wrap up that thought. I think there's a chance that maybe we'll see more Morty solo adventures or something like that, or more Morty-led adventures. I'm not sure, right? I do think that Morty's character development through the season has been kind of, and even like a little bit of last season, and just kind of the Fear Hole episode, and like any time after that, I feel like is him kind of separating from Rook a little bit. Okay, I do think that's true. With even like the start of like the Matrix in season 8, right, where he's kind of separated from Rick a little bit there, and in a lot of season 9, right, where he figures out his own problems, whether it be like the Rick or Head episode where the head gets split up, and obviously Rick's there kind of to help him, but like he's got to do a lot of heavy lifting, right? Or like I said, the evolution episode again. I think whatever, and I think that'll be revealed in season 9 if or sorry, the finale if something like that happens, right? Like where like Morty turns into evil Morty. Do I think it's likely? I'm not sure, but I don't think it'll happen this early. I think we still got a few seasons of character development. Okay, another thing is people think the big bad is gonna be revealed, or big bad in quotations. You can't see me doing the quotations, but I'm doing them. And what do I say about that? I don't know. Feel the Dreams. This sounds like I don't know. It doesn't sound like a big bad reveal episode, right? Unless it's like literally like a completely new character we've never seen before, which is might be happening, or like I don't know, the central finite curve breaks open or something. If that happens, you quote me on that, okay? Quote me on that for the rest of the time, okay? Because that'd be insane. But I think something big's gonna happen. I don't think a big bad reveal is gonna be one of them. And if it is, I think it might be like a slight reveal where it's like, here's the big bad, but you're probably not gonna see him for a while, right? And what I mean by big bad too is if you're wondering, like Rick Prime, or a lot of people are saying like Evil Morty's the new big bad. I don't think Evil Morty's the new big bad. I think he's more of a like kind of like a rival in a sense, right? Where I said that in my last video, but I think he's kind of more of a rival. My wish list for the finale is a 10 out of 10 episode. Okay, that's not that crazy to say. I think Fear No More is a 10 out of 10 episode. I almost cried in the season 8 finale. I'd say that's high nines, mid to high nines out of 10 episode, right? Most finales are insane, and if they flop in this season where every episode, in my opinion, is great television, I'd be so sad, right? My So a 10 out of 10 episode is one thing. My second thing is I would like some great character development or something along the lines of that. Whether it be like somebody dies, right? Which would be insane. Imagine one of the family members dies, right? Like Summer dies or something. That would be insane, right? Or the family separates or something like that. I want something crazy to happen because season 7 episode 10 was really good. Like they're really good episodes, these finales. And I think like the Fear Hello episode really like put in like that Rick's actually like changing, especially after the whole Rick Prime thing, right? Rick's actually changing, and he's actually like proud of Morty, right? And even though he's not gonna say it quite at the moment, like the the way he is at the moment, right? Or the way he is mentally right now at the moment. I can't think of the right way to say it, but you get the idea, right? And last one with Rick letting Mary Diane go. It's like, in his own fucked up way, it's kind of him like trying to move on, right? Move on, and also letting Memory Rick stay with Diane forever. That's like a huge deal in my opinion, at least. It's a huge deal, right? So I think that is mm, mm, chef's kiss, right? I think that happens. I think my third bucket list thing is, I don't know. I really just want another lore episode would be good. If we saw Evil Morty again, I think that's like an unrealistic thing to wish for. But I think seeing Evil Morty again, or like maybe like a post credit where like Evil Morty is like, we know for sure he's not gone, because people are theorizing that like Evil Morty will come back in the finale, and I think that's a high wish, but I think it could happen. Okay, I'm not gonna discredit. I think it could happen. Or maybe like they reveal Rick Prime's not dead or something. I think it's gonna be a crazy finale, right? Especially since we're going into the 10th season, and 10 is like an important number. I think setting up the 10th season in some way, or like some sort of plot in the 10th season, would be amazing. If not, like a huge development in the lore, or like the family or something, I think would be insane too. Um, so yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see what the finale's got in store, right? I'm excited to see what the finale's got in store. I think it's gonna be a great one. Um, I guess I'm hoping, right? I think they know to put their best episodes in the premiere and the finale, right? And so far this season we've only had bangers, so I really don't want this one to be a flop. But okay, that's wrapping up my thoughts for season 9. I think it's really good. You should watch it. I think it's hot take. I think it's top 3 season. It might even be top 2, but I'm gonna have to like really dig in, and I really need to keep rewatching the series because yeah, I love Rick and Morty. But I'm gonna wrap that Rick and Morty thought up, and I wanna go into YouTube a little bit. I apologize for not uploading. Um, that was not my intention. It's been a little bit rough mentally the past couple weeks, but we're getting this out, right? And I apologize for not uploading. I do want to upload 2 videos next week, right, to kind of make up a little bit. One like a tier list video, and then also just talking about season 9 as a whole and the finale. That finale one might be a little longer. Um, and eventually I want to really get. I'm gonna start writing a script for a video. Um, Hint, it's gonna be do with Rick and Morty. You can probably take a guess what episode I'm gonna try to shoot for, but I'm gonna start writing that, so I want to get that done, within the month, at least the script. Um, Preferably, I'd love to get the video done in a month and uploaded, but we'll see, especially with college starting. I really do want to get it done before college, so I think I'm gonna shoot for that. Um, but yeah, uh, I appreciate all the support we got on the other Rick and Morty video. You guys seem to love that video, or the algorithm did whatever. It's like sitting at 1.4 thousand views. Huge. I've never gotten that many views on a video um, that like I actually care about. Of course, my second channel. Um, if you're still here, comment like second channel or second or something, and I can do like a review of my old channel. I can like dox myself, because that'd be funny, right? Reviewing my old channel. I'd probably do that anyway eventually. But if you're still here, just comment something. I want to know that you're still here, and I appreciate you watching. Um, I think that's gonna be all for today. I appreciate you guys watching. If you're still here, comment please. Uh, I will try to respond to you. I also appreciate the comment that I got from here. Let me just pull it up right now. It was this guy who was explaining one of the episodes, and when I do my full ranking of the season will come next week with the season video. I will take what he said into consideration. Paul Drolls, he commented on my video. Shout out to him. I appreciate the feedback. Because I was talking about how like I didn't get the Jerry bit, and then he kind of explained it to me. I appreciate that. I'm kind of like I would say this is reviewing, but not really. I don't know. I'm kind of just getting into that. So, but let's end the video here. I appreciate you guys watching. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night, day, whatever, week, right, month. Or if you don't want to, that's fine too. Let's try to keep it under 30 minutes. All right, be good or something.